My friends, I need you to stop what you're doing right now, because what I'm about to share with you this week could directly affect how much money lands in your bank account. And I mean this week, not next month, not sometime in the fall, right now. If you're receiving Social Security retirement benefits, SSI, SSDI, or VA compensation, there are changes happening at the Social Security Administration that a lot of seniors simply were not prepared for, and many of them are waking up confused, checking their bank statements and wondering, why did my amount change? Did they make a mistake? Is this really mine? I want you to know, you are not alone in feeling that way. I hear from people just like you every single day. People who worked their entire lives, paid into this system for 30, 40, even 50 years, and now that it's time to collect what they earned, they feel like they're being left in the dark. Like nobody is sitting down with them and just explaining it plainly. Well, that's exactly what I'm here to do today. I'm going to walk you through everything that is happening right now with Social Security, SSI, and related benefits, including some updates that could mean an extra $2,000 or more is available to you that you might not even know about. So, grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's talk. Let's start with the biggest question on everyone's mind. Why are payment amounts changing, and what does it actually mean for your check? Here's the foundation you need to understand. Back in January, Social Security recipients received a 2.5% cost of living adjustment. That's the COLA increase for 2025. Now, I know 2.5% doesn't sound like a lot when you say it out loud, but when you do the math, it actually adds up in a very meaningful way depending on your benefit level. For someone receiving $1,800 a month, that's an extra $45 per month, which is $540 over the course of the year. For someone receiving $2,200 a month, that increase comes to about $55 more each month, totaling $660 added to your annual income. And for those of you who are receiving the maximum Social Security retirement benefit, which in 2025 is $4,018 per month for someone who retired at full retirement age, you're seeing the largest dollar amount increase of anyone in the system. But here's what a lot of people missed. Not every recipient saw that increase land cleanly. Some of you saw your Medicare Part B premium go up at the same time, and that premium is automatically deducted from your Social Security check before it ever hits your bank account. The standard Part B premium in 2025 is $185 per month, up from $174.70 in 2024. So if you were expecting a nice jump in your deposit and instead it looked about the same, or even slightly less, that Medicare deduction is almost certainly why. It's not a cut. It's a mathematical offset that swallowed part of your raise before you ever saw it. Now let's talk about this $2,000 figure because I know that's what brought a lot of you here today, and I want to be completely straight with you about what this means. There are actually several ways this number is showing up in conversations right now, and it's worth breaking them down one by one so you understand exactly what applies to your situation. First, if you are an SSI recipient, that's Supplemental Security Income. The maximum federal benefit for a single individual in 2025 is $967 per month, and for a married couple, it's $1,350. Now, many states add a supplemental payment on top of the federal amount. Depending on where you live, your combined monthly SSI benefit could be approaching or even exceeding $1,200 to $1,400 when you add in your state supplement. Over 2 months, that's well over $2,000 flowing into your household, and some recipients receiving the SSI catch-up payments or back pay from pending applications are seeing lump sum deposits in that range. Second, for SSDI recipients, people receiving Social Security disability insurance, the average payment in 2025 is approximately $1,580 per month. But the range is wide. Some of my viewers who had higher lifetime earnings are receiving $2,200, $2,400, or even $2,800 per month. If you are one of those recipients and you haven't reviewed your My Social Security account lately to confirm your current benefit amount after the COLA adjustment, I strongly encourage you to do that today at SSA.gov. It's free, it's secure, and it is the most accurate source for your personalized information. Third, and this is the part that surprises people the most, If you have been underpaid at any point in the last year due to an SSA processing error, a delayed COLA application, or an appeal that finally got resolved in your favor, you may be receiving a retroactive payment. These one-time corrective payments can absolutely reach $2,000 or more, depending on how long the underpayment went on. This is not a rumor. SSA issues retroactive payments regularly, and many seniors receive them without fully understanding what they're for. Let's talk about timing, because knowing when your money is coming is just as important as knowing how much. Social Security, retirement, and SSDI payments are distributed based on your birthday. If your birthday falls on the 1st through the 10th of the month, your payment arrives on the 2nd Wednesday of each month. If your birthday falls on the 11th through the 20th, you receive your payment on the 3rd Wednesday. And if your birthday is between the 21st and the 31st, your deposit lands on the 4th Wednesday of the month. SSI payments, on the other hand, are always delivered on the 1st of the month, unless the 1st falls on a weekend or federal holiday, in which case the payment comes early on the last business day of the prior month. I bring this up because this week, depending on where you fall in that birthday-based schedule, a large number of recipients are receiving their March payments right now. And if you're also in a state that delivers a supplemental SSI payment, you may see two separate deposits, one from the federal government and one from your state. Don't be alarmed if you see both. That's working exactly as it should. Now, I have to be honest with you about something that not everyone likes to talk about, but I think you deserve to know. There are situations where the Social Security Administration can actually reduce your benefit or even ask for money back. These are called overpayment notices, and the number of seniors receiving them has increased in recent years. Here's how it typically happens. Let's say you were working part-time while on SSDI and your earnings went slightly over the allowed threshold, which in 2025 is $1,550 per month for most recipients. Or maybe you had a change in your household income or living situation while on SSI, and the SSA wasn't notified right away. In these cases, SSA may determine that you received more than you were entitled to, and they will send you a letter asking for repayment. Now, before you panic, you have rights. You can request a waiver of overpayment if repayment would cause financial hardship, and in many cases, that waiver is approved. You can also request a lower repayment rate. But the most important thing is to respond to that letter promptly. Do not ignore it. If you do, SSA can begin withholding up to 10% of your monthly benefit automatically until the balance is repaid. I also want to flag something called the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. Two rules that reduce Social Security benefits for people who also receive a pension from a job that didn't pay into Social Security, like some state or local government positions. Congress has been debating reforms to these provisions, and while the Social Security Fairness Act, which passed at the end of 2024 and was signed into law, eliminated both the WEP and GPO, the SSA is still in the process of implementing those changes and issuing retroactive payments to affected retirees. If you or your spouse worked in a government job and had your Social Security reduced because of WEP or GPO, you may be entitled to a higher benefit going forward and a lump sum back payment. This is a big deal. I want to make sure every single one of you knows about it. For those of you who are veterans receiving VA disability compensation, I have some important news as well. VA compensation rates also received a cost of living adjustment for 2025, aligned with the same 2.5% COLA applied to Social Security. For a veteran rated at 100% disability with no dependents, the monthly compensation in 2025 is now $3,132.44. For veterans at lower ratings, the increases are proportional but still meaningful. A 70% rating, for example, now pays $1,716.28 per month. What I really want veterans and their surviving spouses to understand is this. VA compensation is not taxable income. You do not report it on your federal tax return. But if you are receiving both VA compensation and Social Security, you need to be aware of how those two income streams interact when it comes to SSI eligibility. SSI counts most income against your benefit limit, but VA compensation is counted as unearned income, which means it can reduce or eliminate your SSI payment. If you're in this situation and you're not sure whether it still makes sense to receive SSI alongside your VA benefits, please speak with a benefits counselor or contact your local Veterans Service organization. They can help you run the numbers at no cost. This is a question I get constantly, and I want to give you a clear, honest answer. Whether or not your Social Security benefits are taxable depends on what the IRS calls your combined income. That's your adjusted gross income, plus any non-taxable interest, plus half of your Social Security benefits. If that combined number is between $25,000 and $34,000 for a single filer, up to 50% of your benefits may be taxable. If it's above $34,000, up to 85% of your benefits could be subject to federal income tax. Now, I know that can sound frightening, but here's the practical truth. Most seniors whose only income is Social Security pay little to no federal income tax. It's when you add pension income, required minimum distributions from IRAs or 401ks, or part-time work that your combined income climbs into taxable territory. The smart strategy here is to plan your withdrawals carefully. And if you're married, consider how your filing status affects the thresholds. Married couples filing jointly have a combined income threshold of $32,000 to $44,000 for the 50% tier and above $44,000 for the 85% tier. A good tax preparer who specializes in retirement income can help you minimize the bite. I want to leave you with something practical. Real strategies that can help you get every dollar you've earned. If you are not yet receiving Social Security and you're between 62 and 70, one of the most powerful decisions you can make is choosing the right time to claim. Every year you delay past your full retirement age, which is 67 for anyone born in 1960 or later, your benefit grows by 8%. That means if your benefit at 67 would be $1,800 a month, waiting until 70 bumps that to approximately $2,232. Over a 20-year retirement, that difference is staggering. Of course, delaying isn't the right choice for everyone. Your health, your financial situation, and whether you have a spouse who would benefit from your record all factor in. But please, make this decision with full information, not just because someone told you to claim early. For those of you already receiving benefits, make sure you're enrolled in all the programs you qualify for. The Extra Help Program, also called the Low Income Subsidy, can save SSI and low-income Medicare recipients hundreds of dollars per year on prescription drugs. The Medicare savings programs can pay your Part B premium entirely, which would add $185 a month back into your pocket. And if you've had a major life event, a divorce, a spouse's death, a significant drop in income, contact SSA directly because these events can trigger a benefit recalculation in your favor. My friends, I hope this conversation today gave you some clarity, some comfort, and some confidence going into this week. You worked hard for these benefits. You paid into this system, and you deserve to understand exactly what's happening with your money. If anything I shared today applies to you, whether it's the WEP and GPO repeal, a possible overpayment notice, your tax situation, or simply not knowing if you're getting the right amount, please don't wait. Log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov, call 1-800-772-2113, or visit your local Social Security office. And if you're a veteran, reach out to your VSO. They are there specifically to help you navigate these benefits at no charge. If this video was helpful, please share it with someone you love. An older parent, a neighbor, a friend at church, anyone who relies on these benefits and deserves to know what's happening. Hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss the next update, and leave me a comment below telling me which part of today's video was most helpful to you. I read every single one. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and know that you are not alone in this. I'll see you in the next video.